You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Ladies and gentlemen, some intro music, which means we're going to do a podcast. Let's get started here. Good evening, everybody. I am Derek Chowan, and I am coming to you live from the 2 Scotch Funk Worldwide Lounge. I always have liked that. I think I'm going to do something extra with that, but for tonight and for the foreseeable future, it's going to be a podcast, and we're going to talk about everything. Soup to nuts. That's an old-fashioned saying, so some of you youngsters might not get it. This will be a brief one. What we're going to do is I'm going to try to do this every Thursday, 5-6 minutes. Nothing big, nothing rambling, just some good stuff to get you into the weekend in a proper fashion. And then if this takes off like I hope it does, maybe we'll do it on a Monday or a Tuesday to get your week going in the proper fashion. We'll see. We'll see what this turns out as, turned into. Both things. So the reason for this is a week ago, almost exactly a week ago, I did a video about my book. And the video is based on you and all my fans and all the good people out there and their reviews of the work I've done. So last week, I decided, against better judgment, to do a video. I don't like doing videos. I'd rather talk behind a microphone. It's easier to hide, and my dad always used to tease me that I had a face for radio, so I believe him. I hope he was kidding. I'm pretty sure he was, but anyway, this video took off, and it went pretty crazy, and it generated some pretty fantastic traffic. We'll call it traffic, because it was all over the place. I got emails on my website. I got private messages through social media, posts on social media. It was crazy. It was truly crazy. And, you sit here and you go, oh my God, talk about an egomaniacal thing to do is get in front of a camera and read to people, but it really worked. Now, the idea for this video came from a kid I've been watching since he was little. I've known him since he was born. This kid is wildly passionate about everything he does. He's a dad, he's a husband, he's a son, he's a grandson, he's a worker, he's an entrepreneur, and he's passionate about all of it. And I've been fishing with his dad since I was a little kid. His dad and I are a couple years apart, but watching this kid go after stuff is impressive as hell. And he does it regardless if he has 1 viewer or 1,000 at a time. He still has the same amount of passion, and he's crazy about fishing. So if you like fishing, do me a favor and go to Great Northwest Bass Anglers and like that group. It's a very cool group. I love fishing, and I love this kid, but it's kind of fun to get some inspiration from somebody that's, your own kid's age, and watching his success and watching what he does with it is very interesting and inspiring. So, Alex, thank you for the inspiration, kiddo. I appreciate it. His quote that really got this whole thing started was, this is just a piece of it, I won't read the whole thing, but I still listen to your book when I'm at work, and I learn something new or think of it in a different way. then I try to incorporate that into my life to make me the best person that I can be. That's a pretty high compliment. From a silly video that I posted trying to be more like him, and I inspired him. So it's kind of this almost critical mass thing where we can really inspire each other and work towards that. So this review, I'm going to do this every Sunday. I'm going to do not the podcast, but a video every Sunday and spotlight different reviews of the book, different things people have said about it, and why it's important to me, what it means, and it's kind of a way to spotlight some appreciation, because this is a partnership, and that's what leads me to the next thing. I had a question for a friend of mine. My question had to do with reviews and how some people can get hundreds of them and I can barely get 10. And he had me do an experiment, and he had me to reach out to people to see why weren't they sending reviews. And the responses were, I did 10 reach outs. And 5 of them were, I haven't even started your book yet, I've been busy and I apologize, and people were super cool with that. And then there were 4 that took me off guard. And this guy that I've been chatting with, he's a friend of mine that's a psych major, and he's helped me through some pretty dark times, but I told him what the responses were. The responses were, I didn't want to finish it because that ends our relationship. That ends the friendship. This is something I don't want to have happen. So everybody's stopping before, not everybody, these 4 out of 5 people that had started the book haven't finished it. They haven't finished the last chapter. And he explained to me that that's the highest compliment I could get. People don't want to finish your book because they don't want it to be over. You have a unique style of writing and communication and relationship forming. And he said that since we were in college, that I had a pretty good way of building relationships. I hope he's right. I learned that from my mom and dad. But it is the highest form of compliment because they don't want it to be over. So that's part of the reason for this podcast is the book can be over, but the relationship and the friendship doesn't have to be. And even though I never intended the book to be anything quite like that, I guess that's how some people are seeing it, and it's mind-blowing. It just is. I was talking to an old friend last night about it too, and I told her when she was talking about the audio piece of it, and I said my face was red. I could feel myself blushing because of her compliments, and it's embarrassing. But if that's what this is, then I shall take that compliment and say thank you, and we'll keep this relationship going. What we'll do is once a week, I'll jump on here and talk about the good things. And if we have bad things to discuss, we can talk about those too. If you have a topic that you want to talk about, bring it up. You can shoot me a note through my 2 Scotch Funk Facebook page. You can shoot me a note at info@derekchowan.com. Any number of ways. And we'll talk about it. How about that? That's a good relationship for me too, because then I feel like I'm helping you and interacting with you instead of just talking to you. I'm talking with you, and I think that's pretty fun. I get a lot out of that, and it helps me write more stuff. So if you're actively engaged in it, so am I. So thank you. Thank you for embarrassing me and humbling me, and thank you for this relationship. Thank you for everything. I listen to your words and I read your words, and it makes me miss my dad. It makes me miss my mom. She's out west, but there's times where I guess wish I could just grab a hold of her and give her a hug and say, Mom, look what you did. You got me turned around and pointed the right direction finally after 40 plus years. Poor lady. She didn't deserve that. But thankfully she stuck by me, and so did you. So enough of that. I am going to wrap this up because I said 5-6 minutes and we're at 9 already. So thank you. This is where we're going to go. This is what we're going to do. And let's see how it goes. Thanks again for everything.